So I'm gonna make a YouTube video on how to increase your CR by 100% by 100 CR instantly if you follow these rules. However, just because I'm making this video does not mean I do all these things. I still struggle with most of these things. I still struggle with most of these things. I try every day to be better and I fail most days. The number one thing that somebody has to do to increase their CR and get better at gameplay is to have a positive attitude and be humble. That is the number one thing I struggle with. So there's a disclaimer there. I do not necessarily practice these all the time because I struggle with it. The number two thing is going to be focusing on your mistakes and your mistakes only. Again, something that I struggle with. Something that I struggle with. I still feel like I take responsibility for my mistakes, but I also focus on other people's mistakes when I just shouldn't be. I have no control over their gameplay, for the most part. Also, like, if you make a mistake and you're queuing with a team, maybe express what you could have done differently. Like, maybe I had a bad trinket that game. I'll be like, yo, team, I had a bad trinket that game. Next time I try to hold it there, and we might be able to change the outcome of the game. So that is the attitude portion of this video. Secondly is finding a team and teammates. This could so for someone who maybe is like a really positive person and is very open-minded and humble, this is probably the hardest part is finding a team and teammates. The best thing to do is to find group members that are at your XP level and who are this is the important part, who are as serious as you about learning and adapting to the game. This is where I struggle too. Like I have friends like you with. They don't care much about the game as I do. That's just a fact. They don't want to sit there and watch VODs or go over our VODs or queue every single fucking night. Like, but finding teammates that are at your XP level and who are willing to learn the game. So with that being said, rewatching VODs together, which by the way, you would be surprised on how quickly you can go through a VOD. I started watching VODs in season 3 and 4 of Dragonflight, and you can literally go through like 2 hours of queuing in like 10 minutes. Like you just fast forward. Okay, outside resources. Let me go to a city here. Outside resources, again, watch the best players in the world play your comp. For example, I'm a Red Paladin. I watch Vanguards play Cupid. I don't watch them all the time, but I watch them sometimes, and you'd be surprised. You'll learn small stuff that can make big impacts. Number one thing I think is watching your own VODs. When it comes to watching gameplay, if you watch your own VODs and then watch the pros a little bit, you can learn so much. And again, going through your VODs does not take that much time. Also, look up guides. Even if you've been playing a spec forever, look up a guide. Maybe there's something you didn't know. Okay, the last big thing is going to be. First of all, let me just say this before I talk about add-ons. World of Warcraft should ban all add-ons. Period. If they banned all add-ons, it would take skill back into the game. It would make the game less brain dead, and it would just make it better. This is my opinion. However, that's not going to happen. So there's only four. There's only four add-ons you really need. You can count five. There's 4 or 5. I say there's only really 4, but most people will say you need these 5. Number one is gonna be fly plate buffs. Okay. Let me see if I can get my shit to work. Of course it doesn't work. Where's the PvP dummy? Fly plate buffs is gonna be something like this. I don't necessarily want to be tracking judgment. I'm not sure why it's here. Pretty sure I turned off my Ret Paladin. You want to be able to see what you and what the team are doing, and this makes it very obvious. Okay. I'll try to get my Hodge back up here. So you'll be able to see like stuns over the enemy's heads, blinds, fears, everything you need. Let's Hodge. Boom. That is so important. It shows you the countdown. That way you can like chain perfectly. So number one, fly plate buffs. There's other add-ons that do the same thing. However, I prefer fly plate buffs. The next thing is
I'm going to knock it over.
Omni CD, which in my opinion, unless you're playing healer, is more important than Omni Bar. Omni CD is going to show you your teammates add on your teammates cooldowns right here. This is so important for solo queue, especially. Most people know what this is. It will show you what, and you can edit it all, right? Let's see. I'll show you a quick example of this. So here's I usually have this is for my RBG spec, but this shows me Goku's trinket. But if you're in arena, it would show every cooldown that he had, and you can edit to how you want it. Third add-on you need is Gladiator Gladius or S Arena. It'll show the enemy team here, and it will track DRs for you. The last add-on is either Gladiator Losa or Weak Wars or both. Now, I know I'm gonna get hate for saying Gladiator Losa. Okay? I don't like Gladiator Losa. However, I use it for literally like three things. Things that are super annoying and can screw me up. I use it for grounding, Spell Reflect, and War Banner, and like maybe two other things. Don't have it saying everything, man. It will distract you from the game and it will make things worse. The less add-ons and less clutter, the better. Period. That's a fact. All these people with all these crazy weak ores and stuff, at the end of the day, you're not listening to all that stuff, man. And then the next one is going to be details, which I don't think you actually really need. But it's good to just see, like, maybe even while in combat, like, who's doing the most damage. Sometimes it's good for RBGs to see who's doing the most damage. Then you can also break down what's going on in the game after. So there's the add-ons. Also, there's a couple notes here. So solo queue specific, which I need to do these things. I gotta listen to my own advice here. Just turn the chat off. Turn the chat off. Revisit attitudes. Be positive and focus on yourself. That's one thing I swear to God I'd be 200 CR higher if I did that. Period. Watch your own VODs. Oh wait, that we already went over that one. Sorry. Turn off nameplates. This is another thing I think I should do as well. If you get to high enough MMR, you start queuing into like BlizzCon champions, AWC teams, and sometimes that can like throw your game off because you feel you're under pressure, right? If you turn all those off, you just don't know who's in the lobby unless you open up the scoreboard, which you don't have to do to the end. So I think that's a big one. And then also this one I struggle with. I swear I lose most games this way. I am too busy focusing on. First of all, I have some issues with my macros, so I have to pass leader all the time. That's a whole nother story. But I have the biggest issue just like being distracted in the beginning of a solo queue in the starting room. I don't have the right talents. I'm busy talking shit to somebody, which is stupid. I'm just not focusing up, and I lose games because I don't have the right talents. Like one talent would have won me the game. I think that's it. Stream, do you guys have any input? Punty said this is boring. Okay, that's too bad. Just play with Punty, get glad 1 week. Yeah, that's not true. Yeah, I think that's it, man. So here's an example of that Omni CD here, just real quick before we end the video. This is not how it will look in Arena, but look, I can see all my teammates' CDs. It's so important to see those. Because if you lap, right now, I mean, with how PvP is now, man, especially at higher MMR, if you lap, man, you just lose. That's just how it is. And it's probably how it should be. But yeah, anyway, that's how you can get instantly at least 100 CR in any bracket if you follow those tips. Again, I need to follow many of those and follow my own advice, but I've been playing WoW for a long time. I have some glads, and those are some things I've learned.